Hello, welcome or welcome back. I hope today's video is maybe gonna be something useful. I want to talk about different ways of buying the Lego sets, and then after that we're also going to look at specifically in what condition the Amazon resale sets are going to show up at your door. But first I want to talk about how to get sets. Obviously one of the options is the Lego site. And I'm going to be looking at buying the Great Pyramid of Giza because those are the sets that I bought, so you can kind of get a feel for how the buying process for me looks like. So the first thing is I have a look at the Lego site. We can see that the pyramid is about 140 euros. My general rule is that if I can find the discounted set with a discount of 10% or more on any other site, then buying it from Lego is usually not worth it. Because Lego does about 5% discounts or 10% discounts if you're part of the Lego Insiders. And there's a double points promo going on. So obviously you need to register for Lego Insiders, and then when you get the points for the purchase, you can either use them to get rewards or you can get some discounts on your next purchase. But obviously that's not going to be with the current purchase, so you're going to need to be careful about that. And also maybe a word of warning, you can only get one chosen insider's reward shipped per order. The other thing that is pretty useful is this site called Hagglezon. They will find different Amazon deals for you. And so if I write in the Pyramid of Giza number, you can see that it offers me the set from different sites. The German Amazon site is the one that I bought it from, and you can see that on the previous site it said 107, but now it says 110 euros, and that's because it's going to adjust the price based on where you are. And because it's such an expensive set, this price is going to include shipping. You can see that you have multiple options to choose from. German, Belgian site, all sorts of different options that you can find. Obviously you can type in the Lego Giza and you want to choose free delivery and you want to choose Lego sets because otherwise you're going to get all sorts of other sets. And if there's a set available, you're going to find it pretty quickly. Now, another popular site that I really like is Smiths. These guys basically just have toys on offer. And as you can see, we're now on the UK site, but if I just scroll down, I can find different sites. For example, a German site. You will have to probably drive there because they won't deliver to your country, but they do have the best deal. So if you do live close to the borders of the countries they do business in, this might be a great option for you. You will generally find, or at least I find in general, that these guys have excellent deals on many sets. They are probably one of the best retailers out there in terms of discount. But the problem that I do have with them is, as I said, you need to drive to the country to get the sets, which is not going to be ideal for everyone watching this video or purchasing a set, obviously, depending on where you are. But they are usually the best in prices. Even the Lego City truck is way cheaper than it was on any other site here. Like, I haven't seen any other discounts that are better than this in Central Europe, so it's definitely a store to consider. A little bit of a warning though, they won't have all of the Lego sets, so they don't have the Pyramid of Giza, but you know. And then the next site is Müller. They also do business in different countries. The online store is going to be limited. It's not going to be available in all countries. So where I'm from, I have to go physically on location and see if they have any deals in person. And when they do have deals, basically I just check, yes, I want to see sets on sale, to see just the sets that are on sale, because otherwise the sets get too expensive. So they are also a really good retailer to get sets from, but I find that they don't have great deals as often as the others. But it's certainly an option. Then another option is one of these sites where you have price comparisons. Obviously this one is in German, and I don't speak German, but it's pretty easy to use. You just type in what you want, and there's a little flag on the corner there, as you saw, and you can just scroll down and it's going to give you different options of sites and where you can get these sets. But again, another option is, I'm sure you have some local price comparison sites. In Europe, these can be very local, like we don't have a central one like the US because they speak one language. Obviously, we have so many languages that sites are localized. And so another option that is kind of similar to Amazon is Allegro. Allegro is a Polish site, I think. I'm not really sure. But I know that it has subsidiaries around Europe. And then there's also other, again, regional sites that are like Amazon that are going to offer prices that are all in one spot. The problem that I find with my local site is that it's not as cheap as these other options, so I end up buying from other retailers anyway. And obviously the next site that you can look at is also eBay. Obviously, if you do look at eBay, you're gonna have to be careful to say that you want to find a new set, for example, but it's also very good for used sets. And then you are going to want to look at the seller rating, and you're also going to want to change the settings so that you can see lowest price with shipping. And you can see here that it's $110, but shipping then is another 50 on top of that or something, so it's totally not worth it. It's going to be the same price as if you bought it retail, you know. So in case of Pyramid of Giza, it's not worth it, but for some others, it could be a good resource, especially for some older sets. Although an even better option is Bricklink. Bricklink is like a Lego fan site, which is now also owned by Lego, so that's secondary market Lego retailer option. You can get new and used sets on it. I would recommend you check it out if you haven't already. You can obviously ship to anywhere you choose to. You can choose to label the condition of the set that you found, and then you can say like, okay, I want to find a set in, here I have it set to Germany at the moment, but you could also change it. And you can choose all sorts of cards that you want to pay with. I usually choose the credit card or debit powered by Stripe, but you can also choose PayPal or American Express, MasterCard. You have all of these different payment options. So you can choose what you want to pay with, and then you click search, and it's going to list down sets that are cheapest to most expensive, where like from sellers that have your payment option on offer. But you need to be a little bit careful because here you see that it costs 100 euros. But if I actually go to the seller site, add it into cart, you'll see that actually I get charged another 24 euros for delivery. Now, this is going to be different for every seller. Some sellers can go down to free shipping or as low as like 3 euros, 5 euros, 10 euros. But a very common price is 24 euros if you're not in the country of the seller. And then they can also go up to 50, so you need to be careful of that. And then another alternative to Bricklink, which is, by the way, also a great resource, both of these are great resources for sets that are not on sale anymore, is Brick Owl. Personally, I haven't had to use Brick Owl ever. I had no need at any point, which is why I haven't been using it, but you should know that it's an option. And now if I go back to Amazon, there's a second way you can use Amazon, and you can see that here the pyramid is marked under toys and games, but if you go up and choose Amazon Resale, you usually get slightly cheaper sets on resale. And if I choose the Pyramid of Giza, I can see here that it would cost me 4 euros less. Now, at the time of me buying the Pyramid of Giza, the other option, the normal buying option, wasn't available, so the resale sets were all that was available, which is why I chose to buy those. And also, I'm not overly attached to boxes, and as you'll see in my review, not being attached to boxes is going to be important here. So you can see in Belgium you would only pay 104 euros, in Slovenia it would be 106, I think it said, and then in Lithuania you're gonna see it's probably gonna be like 105 if I remember correctly. Yeah, exactly. So here you can see that this, because it's a fairly large price, so it's above 60 euros, this is going to be including shipping in this case. And it's also nice to see, if you click the details there, you can see that what it says there is that the item is in the original packaging, the packaging will be damaged. And later on, well, now basically, I'm gonna show you how the packaging might look like when it comes over to you. I want to say that I have seen better packages and I have seen worse packages than the ones that I got today, but I did get 2 sets, so you're going to be able to see 2 examples of what you might find. Here I am looking at box number 1. You'll see that it has a bit of damage on the sides. Other than that, it's complete. Some of the original labels have been cut, but most of them are still there. And it has been additionally secured with extra large sellotape. And then there's the second package, also damaged on the front. That's why they put a huge sticker on top of it. It has sellotape all along the sides, and it's basically been taped shut. The fact that it's been sellotaped doesn't mean that the contents are going to be damaged. And actually, when I open both of these boxes, you're going to see that in both of the boxes, the contents were completely intact. I have purchased some sets in the past where the contents were not missing, but it was obvious that someone had opened the bags, and then when they sent the set back to Lego, they had to reseal them or something. But in all of those cases, there was still the correct amount of pieces, and I always also got extra pieces included in all sets. So basically, I have never purchased any Lego set from Amazon that would be missing any of the pieces. So there, I'm hoping that this was at least a little bit useful, maybe something useful. Thank you for watching. I've also made a brief recap this time around, and hopefully see you next time in maybe less than a year. Also, an update on the Lego factory store visits. Because I don't live near the factory store, I'm probably not going to be visiting it every year. I am still undecided about this year, especially because I found videos made by other people who have actually taken a photo of every single piece in the factory store. So that's why I probably won't be going this year, but if I do, it is going to be in May or possibly June. As for the frequency of the uploaded content on the channel, I would prefer to give you as few videos as possible, but when I make them, to actually have them be useful rather than just create content for the sake of it and giving you information that you could have found on 50 different channels. So I'm hoping that your mindset at least a little bit aligns with mine, and in any case, thanks again for watching, and a special thanks to those of you who subscribed after watching my first video. See you next time!